What's going on, guys? Welcome back. We have a good one today because there are over 80,000 different possible heroes and villains in Marvel. And no, that's not a typo. In 1965, some kid thought it would be a good idea to even give the mailbox superpowers. But now I thought it would be fun to look at all these 80,000 different characters and pick 100 of the top fan favorites or heroes that you might know and evaluate their shots as a big Marvel fan that I think they have to actually make the cut and make the roster, whether it be season 5, season 20. Are they a skin? Do they have too much of a similar power to another hero that we already have? There's a lot to break down today, and I'm going to put them in different tiers from definitely going to make it to the banishment of no shot. All right, guys, first up, Abomination. We're going to go in alphabetical order. Easiest way to organize this and not, show any favoritism. And Abomination is going to be our first lucky character to go into the no effing chance category. This is the former adversary to Hulk. And even though he's cool and the design's awesome, I'm going to put some in this category that I see more as a possibility of a skin. And it's just too much like the Hulk for me to have him even remotely possible to come to the game. Next up, we've got Absorbing Man. And this guy's kind of a hidden gem within Marvel. He's been around since like the 60s, and pretty much anything he touches, he can copy that ability. I'm going to put him in the possible tier, and that's mainly because there's a bunch of heroes that we're going to run into that can copy abilities. We already have Loki in the game, and so I don't know if he will be hand-selected to, carry that role on. Very cool. I love Carl. That we're on a first-name basis. He could be a tank that does that, and maybe they do that for each role, but I see him coming way later. Just because you're not super popular, it doesn't mean I don't think you're going to make it, because we have things like, Squirrel Girl in the game. But Absorbing Man, I don't love his chances to make it. All right, so my waifu, Aero. If you guys know me, you've been watching my content for a long time, going all the way back to Marvel Snap. I love Aero a ton. Love the character, and I think she's got a pretty good shot to make it because of seeing the Iron Fist that we got in the game. She's in the same universe as that. She is, she can control air, so she's a little bit too close to Storm, but also uses wind as a potential attack. I mean, I would love to see her in the game. I've got a damn rated comic about her putting in the office here. But the likelihood of this happening is probably just possible. Even though, because of the developer, I want to put it higher, possible. Okay, Agatha Harkness, people might be upset, but I was in a developer call in the alpha, and they stated on that call they're not going to do heroes, especially with Agatha, who was brought up as the example, that are too close to others. Now, on this list today, I'm probably going to make that mistake a couple of times, but I tried to weigh into my factoring of tiers. I think Agatha's too much like Scarlet Witch, and that is what they said. But because it came from like the horse's mouth, right, I'm going to put it in unlikely. All right, next up, guys, I have Agent Venom and Anti-Venom together. And this one, it pains me a ton. But this is one of those examples. I'm going to have to put them in the no effing way. And that's because Venom has skins that directly correlate with Agent Venom and Anti-Venom. Even though they're different characters and their hosts are different than the symbiote. And it would be pretty badass to get Anti-Venom and or Agent Venom. The odds of them coming is kind of clear and non-existent. If the skins weren't out yet, I would say they have a better shot, but because of this, yeah, no effing way. So a couple of these I just grouped all together. We have Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., so Agent Coulson and the other members of S.H.I.E.L.D. This is an easy no effing way. I just can't imagine Phil Coulson being in this game. Like, I'll stand behind it being a very cool Punisher skin, but yeah, no shot. America Chavez, I think, is highly likely. I actually think America Chavez has a good shot to be in Marvel Rivals, punching portals and using that to maybe travel, kind of like magic, but being somewhat of a burst DPS. I could see that being something they bring to the game eventually. Probably a little bit lower down on my highly likely list, but I do think she has a great shot to make the game. Next up, we got Angel, and man, this is a cool one, Envision in Rivals. And I think at one point, we're going to have a lot of flyers in this game, and it's going to be a little bit hectic, and we're going to have games where it's just flying units on the field, and Hela is going to be the only answer. I think Angel is actually probably highly likely. It's one of the first X-Men iconic. I can see it being a high mobility flyer that we kind of have, kind of don't. In fact, we don't. Iron Man, Storm, and Torch aren't that fast. For whatever reason, I just feel like this has a good highly likelihood to make the game, so it's definitely going there. All right, next up, we have a hero that you probably haven't heard about, Angela, and not super popular unless you have played Marvel Snap. This is the first daughter of Odin and doesn't diversify too much from magic in a way. Like, they both have big swords. They can fight that way. But she has been kind of mixed in the rumor mill of coming to Rivals. This is a hero that I think is possible because of this being a very Marvel Rivals thing to do, to bring this character to relevance. Again, kind of similar to what we have, but they've made characters like this work. This is one of my very few niche picks to select to make the game as a possible, because I can just envision them doing it. And it gets the added bonus of kind of being like leaked a little bit already, at least in the game files. Next, we have Annihilus, who's a little bit of a sleeper pick of a villain that probably not a lot of you guys know about. And I don't see this guy making the cut. We're going to talk about a lot of villains today that I think are going to fit more of the Dracula role, where they're in the story, but not in the game. And I think if Annihilus does show up, that's going to be the capacity. So I have him in unlikely, though not impossible. Next up is Antman, and this can be the Wasp as well. I think Antman and the Wasp are guaranteed to come to Rivals, and I think they're going to be similar to Cloak and Dagger and have that kind of team up. And I could envision them as DPS or duelists. That's where I see them landing. This is a guarantee. If they get Paul Rudd to voice actor it, that's probably no effing shot, but I would love to see it. I don't know how they're going to do the mechanics with him, but he can go giant and small. The small thing, I have no idea how to wrap my head around. Like, they can't make him, like, too small. I don't know. This is a very cool one on paper that I think is going to take a while to execute. But when they do it, they're going to nail it. Apocalypse, who's a much more notable villain than something like Annihilus. And I think he's probably also going to serve in the story. In fact, that's a guarantee, but I don't think he's going to be playable. At least that's my guess. I'm going to have him as a possible, though, because I like his chances better than some of the others here. Just being a big vanguard. There's a lot of these like kind of big heroes that I don't know how they would make them distinct enough, but the team's smarter than me. That's why I'm not a developer. I think he's got a decent shot, like a 50-50 to make the game. Now, Armor is another hero that has been kind of in the rumor mill, or at least somewhat in the game files. And if you don't know, Armor can create a impenetrable kind of psionic armor, hence the name. This is a very cool idea to kind of make something like Penny Parker, but I don't know how they would implement it. I would love to see Armor. I think she's a very underrated Marvel hero that people don't know too much about. And visually, I think she works for Rivals a lot, just kind of what she could bring to the table. I want to lean towards highly likely, although I don't think that's going to be the case. Arnim Zola, guys, no effing way. He already has a poster in the game in the Hydra base, but if this guy makes Rivals over some other people, there's going to be riots. There's just no shot. Aaron Zemo, guys, right away, you just think about the gif of him dancing. Great emotes right away. Got to say that. He's a cool looking villain, and I can see him being like a melee fighter with some, like, I don't know, bleed mechanics. But I think there's other villains that would go before him, and they would have to be like way down the line to pick him. Not saying it's like out of the reach. It's not highly likely, but I'm going to put him in possible because I do think that there's a shot. Beast, the iconic X-Men, and if you have seen my already We Need These Hero videos, I have Beast on one of them. I think he's a very cool hero to bring to the game. I see him as a support. He could be a vanguard. I think he's different enough from what we have in the game already. The designs, I see it. And I'm going to be honest, we're going to get a lot of X-Men. They've already confirmed we're going to get a lot of Hellgala seasons. Maybe they come there. He's not going to be in the first wave that comes, in my opinion. I think some other ones we're going to talk about that are obvious will take that slot. But Beast is iconic enough. I don't know if he's guaranteed to come. I'm thinking highly likely for Beast. Beta Ray Bill. A lot of you guys are asking, who the hell is that? And then that's the tier he's going into. He's way too much to Thor if you know him. It's legitimately Thor for the most part, and I just don't think he's diverse enough. This is definitely a skin that we're going to get in the future. I have full confidence in that, but there's no way he's a playable character. I also think this video is making a lot of like casual fans being like, damn, I don't know anything about Marvel. There's so many heroes, man. I'm telling you guys. Okay, so Bishop, I think I'm going to hurt some feelings. I think is unlikely. I think they've got to be careful how many gun heroes they put in the game, and he could have some like power charging and ammo returning gameplay to make him stand out from Punisher. I just think they're going to go other directions, and there's so many X-Men to pick. Bishop is cool, but there's one coming up in just a moment that I think is way better, and just they're too close, and he's going to get the nod. He's cool, but pretty like low demand. So right away, guys, I'm putting Black Bolt in the highly likely. Now, how are they going to put him in the game? I have no idea thematically and gameplay-wise how you get this guy to fit into Rivals, because he has a one-shot scream. Like, this guy's OP. He's a very strong hero, and I don't know how you bring that into Rivals, but they've made the Hulk work. They're going to make Thanos work, so they're going to find a way. I don't think he's a guarantee, but I like him. I like his shot. I'm going to say highly likely. I think he can make it as a DPS. Most of you guys probably just know this guy as the guy who had his head caved in by Wanda. Black Cat, oh my gosh. Gunnar Central. Can you imagine the skin sales that they get on this? I think you could do like a stealth crit-based kind of agility hero, and I like it. But we have a lot of those, and we're going to get even more of those. So I don't know if Black Cat is who they decide, but the Gunnar fans of Rivals tell me she's possible. Next up, we have Blink, and a lot of you guys are asking who, and that's a fair point. Not a super popular hero in what she does. Nightcrawler is probably going to take that role. Unlikely. Now, we have another unlikely in Blob, but this is one that I wanted to put higher. Blob, I think, is a cool hero to envision, or villain to envision in Rivals. Like, he could soak up a bunch of damage. Kind of does what, like, Mr. Fantastic does in his puff-up form. And he's massive. And I don't know. I think the idea of him is amazing. And he's got some of the best Hellfire Gala drip out there. But there's just no way, right? There's so many other heroes that are big dudes to take to the game first. He's going to be unlikely. Now, Bullseye is a semi-popular hero that I think people are going to want to see. But I'm putting him in the no effing shot category for kind of one main reason. And the reason is I think everything they want to do for him, they're just going to give to Gambit. Which obviously we're going to get to, but yeah, I think Gambit's going to take his role, so I don't think we're going to see Bullseye. All right, so I said I couldn't envision something like Bishop in the game, and that's because Cable, I think, has a pretty good shot to make it, man. First of all, there's already artists trying to do some concept stuff, but he has like a lot of time tech utility, and he can be kind of like have a bit of forward vision. That's his character and his model. I see him fitting with his art scheme, and as a character, he's just a badass. It'd be sick to have him. I'm going to put him in possible. Captain Marvel, guys, if you like her, if you don't, really doesn't matter because she's guaranteed to make it. I think she's going to be a Vanguard, and I think she's going to be probably one of the ones we're going to see next. Maybe season 3, maybe season 4 if they do Blade, who knows. But yeah, I mean, she could fly. She's got energy blast. There's a lot of different forms that they could do with her. She's got the MCU backing. Yeah, she's going to make it. It's not a matter of if, it's when. And for me personally, I think this is going to be one of those heroes that are going to be very cool to see in matches. Like, just as a caster and as a player of the game, like, just seeing Captain Marvel fly around and be fighting Wolverine is a cool thing to, like, think about. All right, so Carnage, this is one where I'm probably putting some favoritism. I'm going to have him in highly likely. I think Carnage has a good shot to make the game. Agent Venom, Anti-Venom, I said they're too much like Venom, but I don't think they could do a skin for Carnage for Venom. They could probably do some red, but he's such a different character, and the way that Carnage would work would be really cool to bring to the symbiote family in the game. And I actually think he has enough of a fan base and a purpose within the game to make it. Next up, guys, we have Colossus. And out of all the big guys, I think this is the one that's going to make the game. I don't see a Rivals where Colossus doesn't make it down the line. Whether that's sooner rather than later, I don't know. But he's that big kind of armor-locked juggernaut that's going to be that Vanguard type. Yes, we have the Thing. We have Hulk. How is he going to play into it? I don't know, but they're going to figure it out. Colossus is almost as guaranteed as you get to make the roster. But the only person more guaranteed to make it than him is the next one, Cyclops, guys. I can't help the ordering. It's an A to Z. Cyclops, obviously guaranteed. It's not a matter of if, when. The team leader kind of aspect, I think they could lean towards a Captain America feel and how he synergizes as that leader. But he's not a Vanguard. He's obviously going to be a DPS. Cyclops, like, I don't know if you guys grew up playing the side-scrolling arcade game, but seeing that in Rivals and being able to finally play him, like, Cyclops has not been fun to play in a video game for far too long. Like Marvel vs. Capcom, but Snap, he wasn't. The MCU has done him terribly. This is the one, I got to say, probably out of most of these that I hope they absolutely take their time with and nail. Now, Daredevil is a hero that I think has a very high likelihood to come to the game. I have a hard time seeing exactly how they're going to do them, but obviously they've got batons and they can kind of play off the whole blind thing and being able to maybe see through walls. I don't know how they're going to do it, but I see him as support DPS in that role, and I think he's got a good shot. The show's successful. He's a highly popular hero. Heck, they can bring in Electro. I don't know how they're going to do it, but I do think Daredevil, it makes sense that he's on the roster. Okay, so Darkhawk. This is one that I think is a niche pick. He's a lot like Iron Man. There's a lot of the same things there. He has super strength. He has the ability to do force fields as well. He could do some, like, really cool... dude, this guy screams Rivals to me. He's very niche. There's a cult following for the guy. Do I want to put him in possible? I'm going to. He's niche, but he's one of those that I could see somehow making the cut, and people all of a sudden didn't realize that they love the guy. All right, so Dazzler has already been kind of teased in the Midtown map. There's like a thing for her. She's like the Taylor Swift of Marvel. They love their blonde and blues, and I could see her going in because of that. I don't think she has a big chance to make it, but because like Luna kind of, I don't know. There's gonna be a lot of Dazzler fans out there that are gonna be like, no, she's coming no matter what. I don't think so. I think it's unlikely, personally. Deadpool is the most certified lock to come to the game that you get, point blank. And the kit writes itself. My only question is, can they land Ryan Reynolds to do it? I think that would be pretty damn cool myself. Although I think the guy that did Rocket Raccoon has voiced him in other games, so you could maybe just do it that. There's a lot they could do with him, but he's got to break the fourth wall, and I talked about him a lot on a old video that I'll put up in the link there if you want to check out my full kind of thoughts on what they could do with the character. Deadpool, though, is coming within a year, no question. I don't care what role he is, guys. I'm playing the hell out of him. Like, I will throw, if we have 4 DPS, I'm going 5. I'm going to be a Deadpool main, and I think everybody is. If you thought Emma Frost was getting locked a ton whenever she came out, this is going to be everybody wants to play Deadpool. All right, so Devil, Dino, and Moon Girl, I think, has the potential to be kind of this tag team Vanguard thing going on. I envision the dinosaur being on the battlefield. I didn't know a lot about this hero personally until Marvel Snap, and then I think there's a kids show that's come out. But this is kind of a Rivals flavor thing. I'm going to say possible. All right, Doc Ock, guys, guaranteed. I don't even think it's highly likely. I think Doc Ock does come to the game. He's too infamous. The way that he could be a Vanguard in this game with his tentacles and, you know, pulling people and AoE, slamming. And he's the ultimate Spider-Man villain outside of Green Goblin, who's also, a spoiler, going to be a guarantee. Those two, I don't see how they don't bring them. We're going to get like a Spider season of some kind. And there's only so many Spider-Man heroes that can fit in there, and villains, but Doc Ock's going to make the cut. Dr. Doom, I almost did not put on this list, and I'll tell you why. He is the main villain for Rivals and the key of the story. I don't think we're going to get him for years to come. I don't think we are. But eventually, he does come. So I have him in guaranteed. If it was likelihood of him coming in a year or two, I'm going to say no shot. But I think there's no question that Dr. Doom, hell, now that I think of it, they're probably just going to cross-promote him with the Avengers movie coming out. All right, so Drax and Gamora, I'm going to put them together. This is kind of tough because there's a voice line even by Star-Lord saying he's looking for them. I don't think they're coming for a while. I'm going to put possible because it's Guardians of the Galaxy and they could complete the team. We've seen they've wanted to do that with the Fantastic Four. I just don't think it's going to be anytime soon. Both of them have kits that you could do. They're both kind of brawlers in the melee field. It just doesn't seem likely that they're like anywhere close on the list, but they definitely have a shot. I don't know if that's going to piss people off, but that's at least how I see it logistically. Ebony Maw is one of those characters that you're like, who is this guy? And then you remember Infinity War. This is the skinny dude that was like pretty much Magneto. I think he's got a shot. I'm going to put him in possible because he has some very cool abilities. I could see him being a support, like kind of like Magneto, but like a support and can do things. You know how Magneto's used defensively a lot? Like bring that with some healing maybe. It's a cool idea. The Black Order is not going to come, the whole Black Order, but I do see Ebony Maw coming to the game. Electro, I'm going to go unlikely, sadly. This is a very iconic Spider-Man villain, and they could make him like a glass cannon. Storm, though, is just, I just feel like this is just Storm at the end of the day, so unlikely. Oh, yeah, I've clumped up all the Eternals, and I'm telling you guys, this is my list, not your list. This is just my personal guess. If you like the movie, that's amazing. I don't think the Eternals are going to have any shot to make it in this game. I just think they're not going to be in the game. There's a lot of heroes that do their abilities already. I actually like some of these heroes a ton. I think they're really cool how they work, especially in Marvel lore. But it's unlikely. I'm not going to say no effing shot, but unlikely. So given the new movie, I might get some flack for this as well. But Falcon, can Falcon come to the game? He could be a support. He could be... I don't think so. I think if anything, he's going to get like a pseudo skin for Captain America. I just don't think Falcon is going to get his own kit, but he very well could. Because I kind of, this is another example for later, but like War Machine, I can see coming to the game, even though he's close to Iron Man-ish. Falcon's got enough like to diversify him though, and he's got like Red Wing, and they could put some cool stuff in the game. I probably should put him in Possible. I just feel like this is someone we don't get. You know what? I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to put him in at least Possible because he's too involved in the MCU. All right, next is Forge, and he's like the weapon master of Marvel. They could go like the Torbjorn route with him. Do I think they're gonna do it? Probably not. It's a cool concept, but I think he was found in the game files too, so I don't know. Maybe he's just like a side character. I don't see him as somebody that gets a dedicated character launch though, so I'm gonna say unlikely for Forge. Galactus, here we go, guys. There's no effing way. If he's gonna be anything, he's like a raid boss. Now, Galactus in Rivals sounds awesome. Don't get me wrong, would be dope. I just don't see a world how you could make this work. I've been wrong. Galactus can make himself other sizes. There's a lot with the character, but there's just no way we get Galactus, right? I'm going to say no effing shot, and I hope I'm wrong. Next up, though, is Gambit, and this is a 100% guarantee. I think Gambit, that season is going to hit so hard. Like, if Gambit and Colossus are the two heroes in another X-Men season, people are going to lose their minds. This character is coming. We don't know when, but there's just no shot he doesn't. A lot of cool things they can do with him. He's got the kinetic energy, the car throwing. You can get this going with Wolverine team-ups. I kind of dropped everything I thought about this character in one of those videos that I did link above as well. So go check that out. But yeah, Gambit's coming, and my personal top 5 favorite Marvel hero. And I would say probably a lot of people's. Okay, so next is Ghost Rider. And there's a lot of ways to do this guy. I've kind of laid that out as well. I'm going to say he's highly likely. I don't think he's guaranteed. I think if you were to poll the audience, he would be a top 5 most requested hero. But I don't know if they actually pull it off. You've got his motorcycle he could go in and out of. There's been some awesome kits about him, and there's a lot of ways to easily implement him. Just give me Nicolas Cage as the voice actor. I'm going to be pumped. But yeah, I see him being a DPS, a Vanguard. I can see both ways working. All right, so Gladiator, guys, I'm going to say is probably unlikely. He has a very Marvel's aesthetic. He's basically Superman. He could be a Vanguard. But there's another hero we're going to talk about that kind of steps on his toes, and I think he gets put into the game sooner. And there's just more to him. I think Gladiator is a very underrated hero. He's really cool. Look into his comics, but I don't think he's coming to the game. All right, Gorr the God Butcher. Can you guys imagine how freaking sick this guy would be in Rivals? I mean, they need more villains, all right? And I'm already here. I'm going to start the petition. Getting Gorr. He got so just disrespected in the MCU. Christian Bale, great actor. He was not portrayed the right way. This guy's a badass, and I don't know. I can see his whole kit working in Rivals. I'm going to say possible. It's probably unlikely, but come on. Gorr fans, let me know. Now, Green Goblin, I spoiled it already, but guarantee. I think this guy is definitely coming to the game. I can see him coming in a Spider-Man season of some kind. And this is one of those other heroes, kind of like Deadpool. I think it's going to be hyper popular. Like, his skins are going to... You could go Hobgoblin. He could ride his little glider. The pumpkin bombs. He's so infamous. The voice, I could already hear it in the game and just pissing me off to no belief as I get flanked and killed by him like a million times. But yeah, Green Goblin, guaranteed. No way he doesn't come. All right, guys. So next up is Hiemdall. And I don't know. I think it'd be kind of cool to see Hiemdall. Like, I didn't put the Destroyer in this list because he's a prop on a map, and I don't think they're going to do that. But Hiemdall... He could make it. He's got the big sword, a good presence. He could be like a big brawler. I just don't think there's enough demand to have Hiemdall, but I'm going to put him in unlikely. I don't think there's no effing way. People are going to get so mad at this list. I want to see Hiemdall. Hitmonkey, super niche hero, but my God, I think it's highly likely this guy comes to the game. This screams Rivals. He's got the double pistols. He's very huge cult following for the guy. He's got like a Hulu show, if I remember correctly. Hitmonkey is a certified badass, and I think it's going to be an insane DPS kind of flank, you know, hyper mobile, fast-paced gun hero. This is every bit of ridiculous that we need in a good way. I'm all here for it. Highly likely. Next up, guys, we have Iceman. I'm just now realizing how many heroes there are from A to, like, H, man. Good God. Iceman, though, is probably a guarantee. I think I could put a 100% chance that he's going to come to the game in some capacity. The idea of Human Torch versus Iceman, I don't think I put Pyro on today's listing, but because he's too much like Torch. Although they could bring them both, I don't know. Iceman steps on the toes a little bit of Luna, but I think he could use that ice to kind of go and traverse the map. He's going to be a good DPS, a lot of mobility, great damage. A lot of CC, obviously. That's going to be the big, chunk of his kit. Maybe he throws, I don't know, like a glacier down and causes an avalanche. Really cool hero to envision, and I think it's a guaranteed thing to happen. Jane Foster. No effing shot. Yeah, this is just a Thor skin. Yeah, there's no shot. Okay, next up is Jean Grey / the Phoenix. I don't know if they put them together, but it's a guarantee it's going to happen at some point. She's way too popular. It's kind of tough to do kind of the mind stuff visualized in games. We kind of see what they did with Emma and how they made that happen. But I think Jean Grey is a lock. The Phoenix build, maybe they just go with Phoenix. I'm not sure. It's one of the Omega Mutants, though, and very powerful hero in Marvel lore. And I just like the idea of adding synergy with her and Human Torch, her and Cyclops that we're going to get to. Maybe she comes out with Cyclops, but yeah, this is happening. Jubilee. I can hear the X-Men music as we speak. I think Jubilee is probably highly likely to come to the game. I know at this rate, I've got like a million X-Men up there, but I think there's enough going on with her, dazzling AoEs and fireworks and iconic, yellow suit that eventually she comes. This is some of those heroes that I think come down the line. But I mean, we got Emma before we got Cyclops. So sometimes they're kind of releasing this in different orders than we might think. And they've got to save some of the good ones, right? But I think Jubilee is definitely a hero that I can envision in the game. Good nostalgic kind of charm about her. Yeah, I like it. Now, Juggernaut is another highly likely hero that I think comes to the game. Yeah, you could almost put him as a guarantee. I just don't know if... He's not as popular as I like him. I think Juggernaut going through walls, and one of the cool things about Rivals is the debris system and how all that works. I'm the Juggernaut is the most iconic voice line. They've got to put it in some regard. Maybe someone cuts him off. I don't know. But the unstoppable charge, shield breaking, like he has such a perfect kit written out that's different than like the Thing or Colossus. I almost want to put him in guarantee, but I'm going to go with highly likely for Juggernaut. Next up is Kang the Conqueror, guys. And Kang, if you asked me a few years ago, I would say he's a lock, man. But I don't know. I don't know anymore. The MCU, like, they're done with him. But I think, like, he could do time traps and rewinds and projections. And there's so much potential in Kang. But does he ever get made? I don't think so. I'm going to say it's possible. I would love this. Killmonger is probably one of the most badass villains in all of the MCU. But it's probably unlikely. I don't think we get him. He's probably too similar to Black Panther. I see us getting kind of a Killmonger-inspired skin for Black Panther. He could be that burst assassin. Maybe they do something there. But sadly, I don't think Michael B. Jordan's coming. Okay, so we have Kingpin, who is responsible for probably one of the goriest scenes I have seen in the MCU. It is insane. If you know the clip, you know the clip. I'll say possible. I don't know how they would do. It's the same reason why they can't really bring some of these heroes to the MCU, because something like Captain Marvel would just kill them. But this is Rivals, not the MCU. So there's a shot he could probably be a body blocking Vanguard with coming the same season as Daredevil. Maybe they go that route. Probably not. I would lean towards other Vanguards before this. So Kitty Pryde, surprise, surprise, is an X-Men. And surprise, highly likely. I think that this is a very cool kit to phase in and phase out. Maybe take allies and phase them kind of like Wanda does. But then you can also phase through walls potentially. There's a lot here that you could utilize her as a support / DPS. And I think this is one of those kits that, even though she may not be the most famous hero, it makes sense in Rivals and something that they could do. I just don't know when she would come out. But I definitely see Kitty Pryde being in the realm of highly likely to come to the game eventually. Next up, we have Noel, who is kind of a part of the story right now in a heavy way. Whether you know it or not, Noel is a newer iconic villain. I think people are excited about him, and his design is sick. He's a very cool villain, but he's the god of the symbiotes. However, I don't know if he'll be played. I put him as possible. I think he's more of a story hero than someone we actually get in game. I did say we'd get Carnage, we'd get Venom. Maybe they go full circle and they bring in Noel. He's got maybe some cool like mass corruption effects they could do with him. It's just something for whatever reason, I can't envision him making the roster though. All right, so the Sinister Six, I know I don't have them all on here because I talked about Green Goblin, but I wanted to put a lot of them. Lizard, Rhino, Kraven, Scorpion, all of them together. Do I see all of them making it? None of them making it? Some of them? I'm going to put them all in possible. I don't know if we get all of them. Maybe they could do some cool like squad tag-in thing. I think there's too many there to do that. And I think people would be mad if like Green Goblin doesn't get his, full kit. The idea is super fun. And we probably do get them. I'm going to go possible. I think you could lean towards highly likely, but it's possible for now. Luke Cage and Jessica Jones, I lumped them together. I'm going to go unlikely, even though I do see some Vanguard stuff there. And Jessica Jones is someone I would love to see. I just don't know if she's different enough. Like, she would kind of be like Diamond Form Emma Frost in a way. I don't know if they commit to go that direction. Personally, so I'm going to go unlikely. Luke Cage, though, I love them together, and they're very cool and have a passionate fan base. But making the roster, yeah, I don't know. Yo, okay, imagine playing Rivals and a giant jetpack head is just coming right at you. MODOK. Does MODOK? Oh, does he make it? Does he make it? There's just no shot, right? I'm going to go support. He's going to be a support probably. Very unlikely to make it. I don't think they're going to put MODOK in the game. I could see him being a part of the story. I could see him even being a hero, like, to be honest, what they could do with his kit and mobility and whatnot, but there's just no way, right? I don't think so. Now, Marvel Boy's interesting. Number one, pretty much no one knows who the hell he is, but they did a collaboration with Marvel Snap, and they showed Marvel Boy's art, and that probably was just for Snap, but it did happen. I don't really care, though. I'm going no effing shot. He's got a lot of crazy, like, fingernail hand grenades. Like, dude, this guy's nuts. So did a whole video on him. But yeah, I don't think he's coming to the game. Now, this is one of the biggest and probably most controversial ones out there. People want to know, will we get Miles Morales or not? And the truth is, I think we do. I think he's different enough from Spider-Man that there's a chance, and I'm going to say highly likely, and I think this is the controversial one. I think a lot of people are going to say there's no shot, but I feel like there's enough there. They can't make him too much like Spider-Man, because two of those is going to suck, and this is the most obvious thing to make into a skin. But they're different, damn it, and I'm gonna put my foot down on this one, even though I think is probably the loosest argument I have. I can see him as a DPS, have the invisibility thing going on. Give us Miles Morales. I swear, guys, I'm going to lose my voice. There's so many heroes, but we got to talk about them all. Mr. Negative is next up. Pretty iconic Spider-Man villain. I do think it's possible he comes to the game. I would put him slightly ahead of some other people that I think you would think is going to come to the game more. This, to me, is more of like a story beat than it is someone on the roster, but he's got the katana. His whole aura, like, bleeds Rivals as well. Man, I think this would be a stunning hero to add to the game. Another villain, though, Mr. Sinister, who I wanted to put higher, but I'm going to go with possible. And I don't know if he's a support, a DPS, but I can see them doing the illusion thing they've done with Magneto and Psylocke with Emma Frost, and just the whole time. So you've got, like, two of them, and they can do, like, the clone manipulation thing, but better than Loki, and have more access to both. I don't know how they're going to do it, but I can see them making this work in a very cool way. I'm going to go possible. Morbius, it's Morbid time. The meme status would be amazing. I'm going to go unlikely. Now, Miss Marvel, bit of a tough one. I think Mr. Fantastic is a lot of what she would do, but it's Miss Marvel. Pretty iconic. I think highly likely, but I see this one coming way down the line. I don't see this coming anytime soon, but like season 10, Miss Marvel, I can see it. Mysterio, I'm putting highly likely just to speak it into existence, and I think this is such a cool hero to mess around with and really get right. AoE smokes, illusion, think Loki on crack. If I could pick one Spider-Man hero, it would... Nah, I probably wouldn't. It would be Doc Ock, Green Goblin, but then it would be Mysterio. He's way up there, and imagine how much they could cook with the art style on this guy. My God. Next up, guys, is Mystique. And if you guys know me well, you know I'm giving her a guarantee. I don't know how they're going to do the copy stuff. I already said Absorbing Man I don't think is coming. I think Mystique is going to get that ultimate cloning kind of, shape-shifting ability with a pistol. There's so many ways you could go about her. I can see her being the true kind of assassin to the game. The iconic blue look. She's come to the game, guys. I'm telling you, there's no shot she doesn't. Nick Fury. This is kind of an interesting one. I think Nick Fury could be cool to, like, I don't know, get like shield agents out there for him. Like a tactician a little bit, support character. I can see a world we get Nick Fury, and I can see a world we actually get Samuel L. Jackson's likeness and voice. Call me crazy. I'm going to go possible. I think there's other heroes in front of him in the line, but it'd be pretty badass to have Fury in the game. So Nico Minoru, a lot of you guys may not know her, and that's okay. You don't have to. I think she is a highly likely character to come into the game. Runaways, if you guys know it, you know it. If you don't, go check it out. But a spellcaster with like really cool randomized effects that could happen. And not so much like Agatha. I think she has a bit more of a place that's different than Scarlet and could do some very interesting, crazy stuff. Maybe more summons. Chaotic, but kind of a creative kid. Nightcrawler, guaranteed. It's happening. And if it's not happening, I'm deleting the channel. Teleport style assassin DPS. He's got the swords. He's got everything I want in a character. He has to come. So Nova is one of those characters. There's this new kind of arcade Marvel game coming out, and he's going to be in that cast. I thought that was pretty badass. With that being said, they might bring him to Rivals. I'm going to say possible. He's a cool character, and it would be fun to see him. He has the aesthetic of it. DPS, man, we're gonna have a billion duelists by season 20, but yeah, possible. Odin, oh man, I had to throw Odin in here. I'm gonna say unlikely. It'd be cool to have him, man, and get the whole family together, but there's no way we get Odin, right? I don't know. Does he ride a horse, dude? That'd be sick. Okay, so Onslaught, if you played Marvel vs. Capcom, you like X-Men, you want him to come to the game. Do I think he's gonna come? Probably not. I think it's unlikely, maybe possible. I'll lean towards unlikely, but I mean, I would be pumped if he came. I just don't see it happening. All right, so Polaris, guys, is Magneto's daughter, and we've actually seen her teased in the Hellfire Gala screenshots. Kind of same skill set, and I don't think it's gonna happen. I want her to come. I'm gonna say unlikely. Not gonna write it off completely. She was put into at least the world of Rivals, so we know that her variant in the multiverse exists in Rivals, most likely. All right, so Professor X, guys, I love this. First of all, he got that statue in Krakoa, and people like don't realize that he walked once upon a time. Like, everyone thinks Professor X, and they immediately go to the wheels man in the wheelchair, and that's the best thing I've ever heard. I don't know what time we're gonna get him, but eventually he's coming. I think he's a guaranteed. I think he's going to have a lot of CC, and he's going to be a support. There's no question about it. He is the X-Men, man. Like, Magneto's in the game. It's only right. All right, so Quicksilver, guys, I broke down a ton in a video about the characters I want to see the most, and I said it could be done, and I think if anyone can live up to the challenge of making high-speed work in a hero shooter that's not Tracer, it's them. And I think Quicksilver has a real shot. I think he's going to be an annoying character, very good glass cannon DPS, and I'm going to go highly likely. I like his odds. Red Hulk. No effing shot. Red Skull, man. Great lore potential. I think definitely a story. We need more villains in the game. I don't think Red Skull is going to be the one they go with. Although I would not be surprised because he could do some like command kind of stuff. Like Nick Fury and him come out. They have the same mechanic. I don't know, but unlikely. Another X-Men, we got Rogue. Highly likely. I think she does come to the game. One of those that I don't know how they're going to do it as well. Rogue is pretty crazy in Marvel. Just not sure. Like, this is when we get to the territory of some of these people are going to have to get cut, but I couldn't say Rogue is not going to get in the game because I think she's got a good shot. Obviously, if you see some of these with the same abilities, they're going to not all happen, but this is like by popular demand who I see happening the best. Sabretooth, no shot. Yeah, there's no way. Too much of the Wolverine thing. I think he is a cool idea. Just put him in a Wolverine skin and call it a day. Sandman. Now, I might surprise some people, but I'm going to go highly likely. I think Sandman has a good chance to make the game as a Vanguard. The concept works. I think that he can be a very, like, almost unkillable Vanguard, but has not a lot of DPS output, but not Captain America. He's slow. He can maybe build walls like Groot. There's some weird things to like kind of work out, but they're going to figure it out. I think Sandman does make the cut. Sentry. I'm not going to go into any spoilers for Thunderbolts, but this is the Superman-esque that I think Gladiator doesn't make it. Sentry does. You've got him. You've got the Void. The power potential makes sense. He's going to be in the MCU. His popularity is going to skyrocket. Sentry's going to make it, I think. He's highly likely. Shang Chi, great movie. First, like 80% of it was peak. But I think there's no shot he makes the game. And it pains me to say that, but I think he's just too similar to Iron Fist. And we already got that. Now, She-Hulk, I think people are going to say is not going to make the game too much like Hulk. But I see her more as a wrestler kind of feel than Hulk being the big bruiser. And the way like the hitbox would work, you can't give her a skin. I think we do see She-Hulk doing like mid-air slams and stuff, but I don't know if that's going to be like a priority character that comes out. One we get eventually. Silver Surfer. All right, guys, listen up. They have the chance to make this happen next month or 2 months when Fantastic Four comes out. Are they going to do that? No. But this is a very cool kind of high mobility support they could do. And there's obviously a huge fan base behind Silver Surfer. I'm going to say highly likely. I want to say guaranteed. That's the that's the bias in me. But I think there's a very good chance he makes it. Not 100%, but like 85. All right, so Spider-Gwen is the same conversation as Miles. It's one or the other. I don't know. I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't think she'll come. I'm going to say possible. There's no way they could do too many of these spider heroes. It just seems like a headache. How are you going to ban them all? Taskmaster. If you know, you know. Taskmaster is so badass and is one of the coolest heroes that I could come up with a concept for the game, and the visuals working out perfectly. Do I think Taskmaster would make it in the game? Yes, highly likely. It's going to be another copying of abilities. I don't think she copies on the fly. I think she has a set move set. Somebody came up with like she has one ability of everybody in the match or something that's broken, or like a mix of it. I don't know how you would make it work, but it's like a good flex character, DPS, Vanguard. It could be a little bit of everything. All right, we're here, guys. Thanos, is it going to come? Come on, Cozy. Give me the answer I want to hear. Hell yeah, he is, man. Guaranteed. I think he's got a good shot. Again, I think I pitched this on my last video. Maybe when you're Thanos, the Infinity Stones are spawning around the map and you get stronger with them. I don't know. He has to have the gauntlet. They could go King Thanos and go that version. It's the big bad. He's guaranteed to come. I don't know if it's season 50 and they're going to hang on to him. He's coming to the damn game. So on this one, I put Thunderbolts, even though I have some of them outside of this, but and we already have a Winter Soldier, but I don't know. I don't think Red Guardian. I think all the White Widow and what that is, very good movie. Probably those ones aren't going to make it. We're going to get skins or something like that for those. And then Sentry has a good shot. Valkyrie, I think, is a very badass character that people don't know too well. And hey, I could see a flying Pegasus. If we get a devil dinosaur, why can we not get somebody riding a Pegasus with a sword? They tend to like their Asgardians. You got that going for them as well. I'm going to say unlikely. I don't think we get her, but it would be a cool flavor visual thing to add. We wrap up, guys, pretty soon here. Vision is next up, and with Scarlet Witch, the team-up potential. This is leaning towards Century and Gladiator kind of a style, but with his phasing in and out. I actually did a really cool build on him. You can go check out the video for that. I think Vision is guaranteed. He's going to come to the game at some point. If not, I just need to see the art concept for this guy. Like, they're going to cook hard. Now, War Machine, kind of like Miles Scream's skin, but no. I think they could do War Machine perfectly and have this flying Punisher kind of feel. What a badass character. The AoE potential, the just like Iron Man on steroids, but can't do some other stuff. Maybe a weaker ult. I don't know. We're going to see him. Last up, guys, we've got Yondu. And Yondu, although is up there, my top 10 most requested character with the whistle, is just such a badass thing to envision. I'm going to say possible. I don't know if Mary Poppins comes to the game, but it would be badass. So there you guys have it. That's my opinion once again, and let me know your opinion down in the comments below. Who did I miss? Who did I get dead wrong? At the end of the day, I'm sure there's a ton out there, so I want to hear from you guys. If you haven't already and you enjoyed today's content, subscribe down below. Until the next one, happy rivaling.